out of uni and I needed a job, basically, because, you know, any support that was out there, for example, was not going to be there. So it's like, right, you find something. So what could I, you know, again, Chinese management was broad. So I played with the strengths that I did have from my university degree into something that then I would then be able to gain more skills from. That, I guess, is different to now in a way where it would be more about do what you want to do, ultimately, I guess, in a way. But I say that and I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in at the moment had I not, you know. So you've got to play your odds. You've got to look at yourself, look at your position and say, what can I do? I guess the best thing to do, ultimately, all through uni or whatever, is keep your options open as much as possible, so that then you have no idea, because job markets tighten very quickly. You're going to be competing with a lot of other people. So even if you don't get there in the first bit, you know, you can wait a bit and get something in between, which still will play to some of your strengths, or even train you with strengths that you didn't even, or you didn't know that you could have, for example, which would then maybe contribute to something that you've got a longer term game plan for. You know, I think that's something that's worth even considering if you're going to make decisions. It's about what will the job, the employment industry that you're going into or whatever give you, because you are, as much as you are a new graduate and willing to do anything, and no matter what, right, I'll do everything, you've got to think about what they will do for you. And the culture is important, because ultimately, even if your CV is perfect, for example, you are going to be asked to those face-to-face interview stages and secondary interview stages, so that people can see that you are going to be a good fit within the culture of their business anyways, and B, trainable. And, you know, I say trainable in a way where you might have some of the skills on paper, and the person just before you had loads of the skills which were already quite well known, but they've got, the people that are going to be employing you are going to have to look at you and be able to know that they like you enough to say that when you get something wrong, they're not going to go and flip a lid, basically. And so, and they're going to be quite content with nurturing you. You know, that person before might have had all the skills, but they might have been, I don't know, a bit of a brash, obnoxious person, and so if there was something kind of a mistake, there would have been some sort of tension or whatever, and they don't want that, because companies and cultures, for example, need to flow. So when you choose the culture, you're going to have to, you guess the culture in a way from events that they post, or if they have any social media or anything like this, but when you meet them, it's about how they come across. Now obviously there is the caveat that they might be completely different to when they were like, hi, we're the best, you know, but at the same time, you've got to know if it's going to fit. And I mean, as long as it meets the values that you have, you know, ultimately it has to be in line with that. Otherwise you'll go there, and every time you go past something which is against those values, that'll disgruntle you. And you'll be like, well, you know, oh, they don't recycle, for example. They're like, oh, they're the bins, and they don't, you know, and you know, eventually paired with the fact that work isn't always the funnest thing in the world, these two, you know, they'll play each other off. You have to treat every interviewer, sorry, as the interviewee, as a person who is your other half, shall we say, best friend, right? So the scenario is that you've gone to the pub or wherever with your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever, and you are being introduced to the best friend or this good friend or something like that, of which chat is happening, really very nice and all this kind of stuff, to then your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever will say, okay, I'm just going to the bathroom, and then they'll leave you with this void of like, wow, now we have nothing else, we don't have anything in common except this person, so now we've got to make up chat, right? And you've got to make up chat, and you've got to become personable. You've got to make that person buy into you in a way where you're doing it on your own, because in a way, in an interview, you are selling yourself, right? So in that way, you've got to, you know, you've got to come up with stuff, and you've got to present yourself, you know, this is the best friend of my girlfriend or whatever, and I want her to like me because I really like this girlfriend or whatever, right? So then you're going to do that. You're going to make them come across. So you say all of these, or you put the effort in, basically, and you come across in that way so that you're personable and nice. And so that is, in a way, that is the advice. If the main thing is you treat any interview as a conversation, a friendly conversation.